Thank you, Paul. It's wonderful.
Thank you.
And we're delighted to have you and also Colin Ford, who curated the exhibition and who first curated an exhibition of Paul's, I believe, 40 years ago?
Tiny bit more.
At the National Portrait Gallery.
He was in nappies at the time.
So is he.
So,
The other end of the spectrum.
so a big thank you to Paul and to Colin and to Nathan, who I think is going to say a few words in a minute. Nathan. But also a big thank you to the exhibitions team, the programme team and the marketing team who've been grappling with impossible schedules over the past 18 months. But a big special thank you to Kirsty and to Giselle who have put this fantastic...
Wonderful.
There is a very timely and well-placed article in The Guardian Online, which appeared today.
And in print.
Brilliant. So yeah, so have a look at that. That's fantastic. So I will now hand over to Colin, who is going to say a few words. Thank you very much.
He's only going to say a few words because, as you can tell, I think I can be confident that I'm the oldest person in the room, but you've already had the secret of that slipped in because I first curated an exhibition of Paul's work at the National Portrait Gallery, where I was the first curator of photography in any national museum or gallery at the time, which opened in 1977. And just to get us ready for the fact that you're having to deal with old people, that show was called Elders. And if you look in the centre, little centre gallery, you will see something which I haven't seen for 40-something years, which is actually the leaflet for that exhibition. It lists some of the old famous people who were in it, and some of those photographs, if not those actual prints, are hanging on this wall. I've felt very flattered and honoured to be asked to curate this exhibition to mark, I hope it's not the end of his career, but it's certainly the majority of it. Well, you haven't taken a photograph for 18 months, young man.
I've taken 3 million on my phone, but they're all rubbish.
Well, that's the problem with photographs on phone.
Indeed.
We have been told that, and I don't know if this is the latest figure, that 4 billion photographs are taken every day in the world. How do you sort out the great photographs from the terrible ones? How do you find them? How do you make exhibitions? How do you actually do, the world of photography has changed so absolutely fundamentally. I think I'm quite pleased that I'm nearly retired as a curator. Not quite, but nearly, because there are a couple of other rather good photographers in the room, and I might have to do their 80th birthday exhibitions as well. Who knows, if I'm lucky. I want to emphasise what has just been said, that I'm deeply grateful, very appreciative of what Kirsty and Giselle have done. I think it's a very, very, very good team working in this gallery. I also want to talk about, just give credit to the technicians. Mike and Kev are terrific, I have to say, and I've lost all count. Have I done 40 exhibitions, 50 exhibitions? I don't know. I don't know that I've ever come across a quicker, more efficient team at hanging photographs and doing the lighting and doing the labels. And when I said, excuse me, I don't want that label there, I want it over there, they moved it in a matter of seconds and never complained. They are fantastic, so you're very lucky to have people of that sort of quality. As I am very lucky to be asked to curate an exhibition of Paul's work after all this time. I hope you agree with me that there are a lot of absolutely stunning photographs of Paul. Please enjoy looking at them. And I know that actually you didn't come to listen to me at all. You came to listen to somebody called Paul Joyce. So, ladies and gentlemen, Paul Joyce.
This is my son Nathan, who speaks more eloquently than I do.
No, you
so-
can't say that. 'Cause I've only got a few
Well,
minutes.
the room is full of people who speak more eloquently than I do. But I mean,
I don't think
I was
so.
told to speak.
Very well he did.
I just want to say thank you very much for the Hampshire Cultural Trust again. And I want to single out Kirsty because Kirsty, I've seen Kirsty work tirelessly with sweat dripping off her brow, which is you've put on a wonderful show here. We're very appreciative. Despite my best efforts to balls it up, which I'll tell you about, which I managed to leave an original Hogmanay outside my dad's studio in broad daylight, and only realised an hour and a half down the road back at Lehman Services. So,
Probably someone looked at it and said, that's a childish sketch, isn't it?
well, it was.
We don't want that, he's throwing it out.
But I just want to say I am so proud of my dad. Every time I see him or speak to him, I feel like I learn something new. I have a new story to tell. He's a very gifted storyteller, and I think that's part of the reason that makes him such a wonderful photographer and painter. He's been an inspiration to me, and I'm delighted to introduce him wearing the same jacket as he is in the photo in 1988.
I can't do it up. But it is the same. I did quite a lot of volunteer work for Oxfam in their Herne Hill shop. Wonderful, a revelation. And I was tempted to donate it. But I thought, well, if I donate it, I'll probably want to buy it back. So in the end, I kept it. Kirsty is a star. We know that. She's at the beginning of a luminous career, clearly. To be honoured in this way by the Hampshire Cultural Trust is beyond an honour as far as I'm concerned. I survived in 1940, the year I was born. My mother was attacked by a Messerschmitt in a field outside Whitchurch, which machine-gunned. Fortunately, she was very nimble, even heavily pregnant. But I've never forgotten that incident, which she told me about obviously much later. There is a picture which we failed to have for complicated reasons, which is the remembrance of Messerschmitt in a cornfield. If anyone's interested in seeing that, I'm sure Kirsty would oblige with that. And so to come back to Winchester, where I was born in the hospital here, on an 80th year celebration, is more than I could ever have hoped. A, to live that long, and B, to be here with such a wonderful group of friends and new friends. I've been asked, who's your favourite subject? How do you manage to get them to look this? I've no idea. No idea at all. My approach to photography has always been, and I've never been paid to take a photograph commercially that has turned out well. The ones I did for Condé Nast were so bad that they threw them in the bin, with my blessing. No good. Rubbish. I'm not David Bailey, couldn't do it. The people that I photograph are the people who interest me. So I go in with some understanding. Some of them have become, I'm with Chris Christopherson, who I don't think actually made it into the show, did he? I made a 90-minute film with Chris, who became a friend. Peter Maxwell Davis, I was nominated by him as his next of kin when he was dying. They became friends subsequently, and they were kind of friends even when I first met them. And so if there's something, some essence, something that comes off the photograph that you sense, maybe it's that. It's that initial encounter which may or may not lead onto something deeper and more significant. What a load of rubbish. I think I probably said enough. Thank you to all of you, Kirsty particularly. Colin, of course, and Sue, his wonderful wife, who I'm sure helped enormously.
Oh, she always helps, of course.
But Colin, I did meet him in 77, and as a callow youth, taking in a few pictures, and he seemed to spot something. And occasionally that happens. I was saying to Nathan, I think the other day, when you're 20, you need a sponsor. And when you're 80, you need a sponsor. You still need a sponsor. Raphael, Titian, Rembrandt, they lost their sponsors. Well, I've lost more sponsors than I've had hot dinners, frankly. But it would be very nice to find another one. So if any of you have any thoughts of the rich and famous in the Hampshire area, Kirsty has my email. I do hope you enjoy the show. Thank you.